He's the hilarious Aussie comedian and radio presenter who has the country in stitches with his brand new show, Good Hustle.
This song goes out to anyone who is too young to remember the 1990s. You have my pity. You'll never know what it's like to rewind an audio cassette with a pencil. You'll never know what it's like to have to stand up to change the channel. You'll never know what it's like to let your fingers do the walking, or have a big book of maps balanced on your knees as you're driving your car, which was totally safe.
So true. Funny man Sammy J has been making us laugh for 2 decades, and as he embarks on his Australian tour, he's giving audiences the opportunity to look back at life in the 90s. And Sammy joins us in the studio this morning. Welcome.
Hello.
Happy Friday. Let's get this party started, you know. The only Pledge of Allegiance I'm making today is to Studio 10.
That's our man, Sammy J. So you've just wrapped a hugely successful run of the show in Melbourne. What were the audiences like down there?
They were lovely, Melbourne in particular, but everyone is still, I think, just excited to get out and about and see things. So it was really nice.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
lovely.
great. Tell us about your show. Generationally relatable, I'm hearing.
It's called Good Hustle. So the last 5 years I've been making sketches about politics, about society, and a whole lot of characters in there. So I think there are 15 characters in the show. A lot of costume changes, a lot of fake beards, just flying through the last 5 years of life in Australia. And I've sort of got this strange two audiences, like baby boomers who listen to the radio or see me on TV, and then kids who are now in their teens or 20s who watch me as Sammy J and Randy, the renowned man-puppet musical comedy duo. I'm sure you've heard of us. We've all been there. You know?
Of course.
And so they sort of try to bring them all together. And so the 90s song is all about... My 7-year-old found my Discman, my little CD player.
Yeah.
She had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
She thought it was an electric pancake maker. So I wrote that song just to educate them.
That is strange.
What was your favourite part of the 90s? Because I know for me it was... Remember the inclusion of the push pop? Like to be able to stick your finger in something and then put it in your mouth and not taste your finger was
Yeah, I mean,
an
it sounds like my
experience.
formal after party. But, seriously, no, it was like my favourite moment probably when they introduced call waiting. You know, you get a beat and then your sister be waiting because you're talking to a friend in the kitchen and waiting to use the internet.
That's right.
Just we're on the cusp of greatness.
1831, the number you put before a phone number to make it silent if
Oh
you're
my
stalking
gosh.
your boyfriends.
I love the way you went with push pop, by the way.
I'm still thinking about push bump,
But when you say we have maps on our laps, that's so true. Like, you're not allowed to touch your phone, which is telling you where to go. We had the Melways or the on your map, looking down at it, turning the page and trying to go G7.
Yeah.
And I had a moment like last year was the time I actually removed the street directory from the car. I was trying to declutter. It was really sad. I had it there for 15 years without using it.
I think they still sell those maps at service stations. I was like, I don't know who bought that business, but I'm not sure if it's overly profitable. Now, we hear there's a special guest cameo in your show as well. Can you care to share?
Yes, well, politics is a theme in the show, and so I reached out to the Prime Minister and said, hey, would you do a cameo? Like, just no harm in asking. And he said yes. So I've got one character, the government coach, who's basically the footy coach behind the government the whole time. And Albo helped out and recorded a little video. I won't give it away, but it's pretty scandalous.
Look, he is turning up anywhere at the moment. He's noted Republican at the coronation, Kyle's wedding.
Budget's coming up. He's all over the place.
I need a face painter for my daughter's birthday next week. I'm thinking of reaching out.
He's the man. Now, you've played so many different characters in some hilarious sketches. And look, you were talking about them. There they all are behind us on the wall. Look at this. Where do all your ideas come from?
Well, they sort of... these ones in particular all come from the news. So each one of those characters sprang from a news story. So the bearded chap, the bush poet, he started when we had that toilet paper shortage in Australia.
Oh,
and
yes.
I wrote a poem called The Ballad of Dunny Roll, which is all about the shortage. And that went nuts. That was during lockdowns. That went around the world, and I had BBC calling me and wanting to talk about it. So he sort of stayed around. Soy Guevara is the revolutionary from Melbourne, which during our multiple 2-year lockdowns basically became a revolutionary and wanted to turn Victoria into Turnistan, its own republic. And so he's been making a bit of an assault on Sydney actually lately.
I love it. Your wife would never feel like she got sick of the same man, because I feel like she gets multiple.
Come here, speaking of assaults, your socials recently, there's been some unusual images there. It seems that Melbourne's taken over Sydney.
Yes,
What's that all about?
That's right. Basically, you know, here we are. That's a nice, good Melbourne coffee there at the Central Tower. I come up here on a boat tram as well, so it's really just a little... Yeah, there it is. We all know, you know, you tried to do lockdowns in Sydney. You didn't know how to. We did it properly. There's the Hook Turnistan flag on the Sydney... We did also Photoshop the Sydney Opera House, but they got a bit cross with us. So I can't show you those images.
For those...
True. Very true.
For those who don't understand what you do in Melbourne, what is a hook turn?
What is a hook turn?
And why is a hook
Stand
turn?
up and...
Okay.
Stand up.
Right.
Okay.
All
Can I
right.
put my hands on your shoulders?
Yes,
okay,
of course.
That's how it's done. Okay. So,
This is a hook turn.
Warm them up, though. Warm them up.
so I'm going to walk you. Okay,
Okay.
we need to get from here. We want to
Yeah.
turn over there, okay?
Yeah, right.
So walk forward.
Yeah.
Now veer to the left.
Yeah, so
do not make eye contact with Tristan. He's not the driver. It's awkward.
Okay. All
Now,
right.
when the light turns orange,
Yes.
and away we go.
Why would I do that?
Because there's a tram coming,
no
Angela.
logic to
There's a
it.
tram coming. That's why you do it.
It's an old trick shot, it is. Yeah, fantastic.
Gosh.
Come here, and you're following your Sydney shows, you're going all around the place.
Everywhere.
As well, so everyone gets a chance to see Sammy J. You're not going to miss out. It's going to be a great show. Any favourites?
Favourite cities?
I'm going to put you on the spot here.
All of them.
to everyone in Brisbane, Brisbane's my favourite. To everyone in Adelaide, Adelaide's my favourite, and so on and so forth.
There you go. Look, and make sure you get some tickets for this. Head over to his website on the screen now. There it is, sammyj.com. And Sammy, thanks so much for being with us, bud.
What a pleasure. Hook turns forever.
You always
I
remember
finally know what to do. Just go in the opposite direction of where you're headed.
You always remember your first hook turn, don't you?
And your first push pop as well.
Bonded forever.
Good stuff.
Just amazing.